further ado, I do want to introduce to you our guest speaker for the evening. It's Nicki Keohohou, and she is the co-founder and CEO of the Direct Sales World Alliance. She's been able to help hundreds of companies, thousands of people all over the world in this industry. She has a lot of experience, and I personally have been able to work with her for a good 10 years or so, I think it is now.
Yes.
And the information and the friendship that we have, the information and what she's shared with me personally, and just for me being able to sit in her classes and other things, I've learned so much. So I'm excited to hear, Nicki, what you have to say with for us tonight and with the USANA family. So Nicki, I'm going to turn the time over to you.
Well, thank you so much, Nathan, and to all of the people that put this thing together. Stephanie, TJ, you've got some great leadership in this company, and I'm so happy that you are a leader of leaders and you showed up to this. So I'm going to invite you to get out a pen and paper. You're not going to be able to remember all these things, so get a pen and paper, and at the end when we have our little challenge, you're going to write that down too. So I want you to be comfortable. You can type into the chat box if you have a question, and one of the team is going to respond to you. If I need to repeat something, they'll let me know. But you will have the recording so that you can go back and grab it, because I really want you to take the time to integrate what's going on. So it's not just listening to the words, it's listening to how you will apply this in your life. That's what's the big important thing. So tonight we're going to be talking about creating engaging communication. And creating engaging communication is a beautiful skill that not everybody has. Some people communicate, but it may be a one-sided communication and not two-sided. I have this fabulous new changer, and it's so exciting. It isn't doing anything. So let me see if I can, there we go, it happened. So let's take a look at our overview here. This is what is going to happen tonight. Discover how to connect with people with engaging communication and rapidly multiply your business exponentially. How many of you would like to rapidly multiply your business exponentially? If that's you, type into the box and say yes, 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 or whatever it is you want to do. Oh, we've got some hands raised over there. That's so exciting. So we're making some good, whoa, lots of hands. That is exciting. This is you, because, you know, sometimes, you know, I've just said this recently. I just started on this thought process that, you know, there's things that are happening in our world right now that in some instances is causing people that didn't have a plan B to have the earning capability during some challenging times. So what I'm going to say to all of you is the best thing you can do when you're not earning is learning. Now, the good news for you is you are earning and you're learning, and that makes a big difference for where you're headed in this business. Oh, this is an interesting little thing here that my slides aren't advancing. So if somebody, there it went, that was a surprise, or somebody did it for me. I don't know what that was about. So this is more important now than ever before. The communication that engages other people. Some people are home right now with people they're not used to being home with. And by the way, some of you couldn't wait to get your husband or wife to come home and work with you. And now you're thinking, ooh, maybe not. But I'm just saying, if you really practice engaging communication right now in your own home, with your children, with your partner, with your spouse, it's going to make everything simpler during this time. And, you know, I say that we're on a little staycation right now, and no better place than Hawaii to be on a staycation, I'm telling you. But who's ready to discover how to create engaging communication while you're on staycation? Anybody out there? Well, I see a few hands going up, and I see a few yeses in the box. Well, that's exciting, because guess what? To practice now is going to make everything simpler down the road. So let's start right today. So ways to create engaging communication. First, you connecting with people and establishing rapport. They aren't necessarily going to hear what you have to say until you have established that rapport. That means being present with people. That means listening to what they have to say, not just talking at them. Now, when you look at every message that we have, the words are actually only 7% of the message. And we can be really good with words, using pictures and sounds and emotion, going between emotion and logic. You use great words in your communication. That's still only 7% of the message. That's why in texting, sometimes there are misunderstandings. In emails, sometimes there's misunderstanding. Pick up the phone and talk to somebody, because you don't want a misunderstanding of any sort. The next piece of communication, so 7% was the words. 38% of the message is your tone and your pace, how you speak those words. You know, does somebody believe you? Are you congruent with what you're saying? So if you say, oh, I really want to, call 100 people today, I'm not going to believe you. So watch your tone and your pace. And if it matches the other person more effectively, the chances that you will have better rapport with them are good. So if that person is talking a little faster, you can speed it up a little bit. If they talk a little slower, you can slow it down until you match them and they'll move with you. You engage people when people believe that you are like them. And you understand people so much more effectively when you are like them. So take the time to watch and listen and to really connect with people. Now, your physiology is the last part here. That's what you're doing with your body. Now, he looks a little frightening to me, but so sometimes we show judgment in our face and we don't even know it. The physiology is 55% of the message when you're with a person, and that's even on Skype. That doesn't necessarily need to be just out and about. Even on Skype, they can see you. So it'd be like me saying, oh, I'm so excited to stay home today. You got that I wasn't very excited. So what are you doing with your body? And sometimes judgment, we don't realize when we're talking with someone, over Zoom or another tool, and they're saying something and you have your eyebrow go up like this and you're like, oh, are you kidding me? With those facial expressions, you've got to stay poker face when you're talking to people, or if you're enthusiastic, show enthusiasm. Be aware of what you're doing with your physiology. If you want to be really good in your communication and build rapport with people, the 55% is your physiology, 7% is the words. Who remembers what the other part was? Your tone, how you say the words. What is that percentage? I'm trying to see down here in the box. Well, you're all typing so fast. You're all doing so good. Let's see what, 38%. You are on it. Thank you. You're doing great. I just love interactives at Zooms. I like places where people play full out, and that's you. Isn't it more fun that way? So the next piece of really engaging people is to ask questions, to listen, and to pause. Don't jump in and talk over the top of people or finish their sentence for them. That's the worst one. Or be doing this, like, would you spit it out, honey? I don't have to all day, So we want to have the ability to really be present with people. That pause we call Heaven's Gap. In Heaven's Gap, what happens is the gap is where people have space and grace to think. So you can see people thinking at an elevated level, slow it down. If you hear silence on the other end of that phone, don't fill in the gap. So ask questions, open-ended questions, who, what, when, where, how questions. Listen, pause, give them space and grace so that they can really feel heard. That's the important thing in communication and engaging people. When they're heard, they talk more and you learn more about them, which is really important. So you tell me, and I'm going to check this chat box. You can type in there, how do you effectively communicate with people? Anybody have any thoughts around that? How do you effectively communicate with people? Come on, give me some ideas here. Oh, I see Lori Mulholland's on here. Hi, Lori. You ask questions, hearing them, listening, open-ended questions, eye contact. That's another thing. Look people in the eye. If you put your head down, they think you have something to hide. Smile. That's what my mother used to say, Nikki, all the smiles you give away will come back to you someday. Well, I didn't know I was going to get these big old smile pits, which wasn't really very good, but I'll tell you, it's true. People like people who smile. We just look so much more joy filled. Life is too serious, and people are taking a lot of things seriously right now, and living in doubt and fear. Just enjoy every day. Enjoy it to the maximum. Enjoy that outside and the nurturing that's going on around you. So repeat what I said. That's a scary thing because I don't know when that was. But I think I was repeating the things that are coming up on it. Oh, when I said all the smiles you give away will come back to you someday. If somebody knows what they were talking about, please type it into the box. By the way, acknowledge their responses. When someone is talking to you, your next question is related to what they've said. All of this keeps you in rapport with that person, and they want to communicate. Thank you, Yvette. Yvette says, that smile is contagious. Give your smile away. It's free, doesn't cost you a dime. It's a good thing. So let's take a look here about another way to really communicate effectively, and is to really bring and add value to people's lives. And right now, it's not about the sale. In fact, I think people are so in a hurry to make the sale versus adding value. And I have got so many great ideas of things where people are adding value to people. Like in your business, maybe doing I'm calling ours a connect call, where we just have people call in and they can ask questions and participate. Some people are doing like sharing recipes, and they can get the handout when they get on there, or exercise tips, or nutritional tips, or on what to do under stress. All of those things are adding value to that person's life. You can add value by letting them know that you see greatness in them. Acknowledge them for who they are. That's adding value to their life. And by the way, when you give away, when you have a servant's heart, and everything that you do, you have in mind the win-win-win. Everybody put your hands like this with me for a minute. Put your hands together and just say this with me. And you can say it right out loud where you are. The river of life, the river of life is smooth, when everything we do, is for the good of all, is for the good of all. When you go through life with that approach, because it's true, the river of life is much more smooth when what we do is for the good of all. That's why the people that are hoarding toilet paper, I mean, how many rolls can you use? I'm just saying. But are, taking all the rice here in Hawaii, we don't have one bag of rice left. All those things that are going on, what about making sure there's enough for your neighbors and for other people? Do things that are for the good of all. You add value to their life. Just like, and also right now, being a positive beacon of light to other people. What I'm finding is when we have conversations with people, it's a big negative Nelly, and all the stuff is negative around them, and they want to bring negativity in other people's life. They commiserate together. Instead, add value. But what's the best thing that's happening in your life right now? What's working well in your business? What are you focusing on this week? Those are all great questions. Oh boy, somebody must be from the Midwest. They said, all our flour is gone. Oh no, I don't bake over here. Anyway, so the idea is to bring joy. Everything is not gloom and doom. We are blessed, especially in our profession. We are blessed. We have something that we can do right now. And by the way, everybody's looking for a plan B, that thought plan A was the way that for the rest of their life, and they're suffering right now. So our opportunity, what you have in USANA, is a gift to people. That's adding value to their life. Now, you don't jump in and sell the deal because you don't know their circumstances. Some people, are really struggling right now. And so don't start there. Start about them. Build the relationship first. That's the most important thing. Build the relationship. Show that you care. All of that is part of adding value. You can also add value by being a resource for other people. giving them ideas of where they can go to get things and what's working and what's not. Just the other day, our neighbors were out in the yard, and one neighbor yelled across the street to the other neighbor and said, "How are you guys doing? We haven't seen you out in the yard." "Oh, we're all sick over here, but it's not the corona. It's not anything bad. But we're all kind of sick." And she said, "Do you need any supplies? Can I go to the store for you? We've got lots of food. What could we share with you?" That was generous, I thought. And I have to tell you this because I happen to have a few grandkids and I'm very blessed in my life. And my two little granddaughters came in to me the other day and they said, "Mimi, look at all of our papayas in our tree." We have hundreds of papayas in our trees. And they go, "Look at all the people that don't have food right now. We could have Papa cut down all those papayas. We can put them all in a basket. We're making a sign, and the sign's going to say free papayas and in small print underneath, 2 per family. And we're going to give everybody a papaya that they can pick up right off the side of the street." And then little Maya, who's 6, she's very inventive. Maya said, "And I have a hidden stash of fruit roll-ups. So I could stand inside of the fence and I'll have my little Clorox wipes and I'm going to see if they have children inside that car. I'm going to wipe off and I'm going to throw over the fence the Clorox wipes." And Mimi, we can all make a difference. People need to focus on how to be of service to others. So we're also of service when we have resources that we share. It may be a grocery store that does have toilet paper. It may be a place that you have found that is peaceful to walk and you can be out in nature and alone. There's a lot of things that we can share. It might be, a babysitter when things are good. It might be a church. There's a lot of opportunities to be a resource for other people. When you give first, it's a beautiful thing. I love this. By candied papaya. That's interesting. You all have some. Do I ship some to Maryland? No, we're not shipping today. We're giving him to our own island. Be generous with our time and our attention. Thank you for that, Elizabeth. That is so true. Just be generous. We hold on to things too tightly. You don't need to hold on. Just give. Give what you can give. It doesn't have to be money. It doesn't have to be food. You can give a smile. You can give your kindness. You can give an idea. You can be of support to someone who is just having a hard time with maybe Zoom or a tool, and you can teach them. You could run a class on that. Just find the ways to give. Be a resource to others. So, invite. Let's talk about invite for a minute. We want to invite people, and if we don't invite, nothing happens. The invitation is inviting people to do something and invite them. So how can I be of service to you? "Oh, I'm drained. I'm not healthy right now." So what kind of budget are you looking to work within, if any? "Oh, I could do $50 a month." Wonderful. So I would invite you to start here. This would be a good product to begin with. And because 1, it's within your budget, and 2, it is a very, very strong support system for you right now. Whatever that is, invite them to be a customer. Invite them to join the team. Invite them, to be a part of a meeting that you're doing, a Zoom meeting or something else, or a share and care, or whatever it is kind of meeting. Invite people. Let people know that they are invited. More than ever before, people need to feel part of a community. Right now, feel part of a community of kind, respectful, caring people. And that's you. That's USANA, and it's been USANA since day one. Don't hold back and be a victim. Go for it. Now's the time to do it. So that whole piece of inviting, start now. Don't wait. Get out there and share. So invite the people you connect with on social media. That's a great place to connect. I'm posting a lot of things on my personal social media right now about programs that are coming out and how people are working with mortgages, and I'm also doing little funnies. You can take them and grab them and share them if you want to. By the way, I do need to tell you, the woman on day one that was on my Facebook that has this little nightgown on, and she's got her refrigerator open and her nails are beautiful. And then it shows day 30 of her staycation and she's gained about 90 pounds. I put up there, this may be a good time to take a look at a weight loss program. And P.S., that is not me in this picture. So I just wanted to make sure you all realize that that was not me. So this next little piece is about speaking their language. Clarity language, not contrast. And there are a lot of very specific words that sometimes we use or phrases that confuse the person. When you speak in contrast, we say things like, don't hesitate to call me. What was the big word you heard in there? Type in the box. What was the word that stood out for you in that sentence? Don't and hesitate. You're exactly right. So what do they do? Hesitate. That's not what we want him to do. So instead of don't hesitate, please call me. Please call me. It's an interesting thing. So how about no worries, all you Aussies here? You have no worries. You say it a lot. What words did you hear? Type it in the box. What did you hear? No and worried. I better be worried right now. This is a time for me to worry. So instead of no worries, that's easy. That's easy. Let people know clearly what it is that you're doing. How about this one? I don't want to stay home. You know, I prefer to enjoy my time at home. I prefer to be out in nature. I prefer. So instead of don't want, what do you want? What do you prefer? That's important to use that type of language. Here's another one. In certain countries, they say, no problem, no problem. Well, instead of no problem, which means you hear no, and the other word you heard was problem, I'm happy to do that for you. I'm happy to make that happen for you. Very different. How you feeling today? Not bad. So what are they thinking? She's bad. She's horrible. She's not doing so well. It's okay to say great. I like to say I'm joy-filled because I feel I'm filled with joy because I choose to be joy-filled. I choose to live like that. I'm joy-filled. And how about you? It sort of stops them for a moment. Or I'm doing great. How about you? Do you see what's happening is these are all things that create clarity with people. You know, it's like, how are you doing? I'm so busy. What do? Oh, I can't wait to be in USANA too, so I can be so busy. This is a different phrase for that. I have a full life. I'm having a great day. I have a full life. Excellent. How about you? You're all getting this. Boy, you're quick on the draw. We have fast fingers over there. You're a great typist. I can see that. So let's move on. Use all the tools available to you right now. You've got a lot of ways to communicate with people and to engage people. Use every tool that you have. Who would like to type into the box one of the tools that either your company provides for you or that are out there that you could use and take advantage of? Type it into the box. Videos. You have tons of great videos. Use those. You've got Customer Connect. You've got a laptop. You've got a computer. You've got live things. You've got Zoom calls. Holy smokes. Time-lapse things. I can't keep up with you. Samples, images. You have tons of different ways to communicate. Use all those tools. Communication with your team right now is critical. We want to keep them engaged. So, you know, having that morning tea and talking about things with them and inviting them to be on is all good. Oh, I even have some Spanish things coming in. I wish I knew what they were, but I'm sure they're good. You know, so testimonials, you've got lots and lots of tools. Let's just take a few of them and dive in a little deeper. Zoom is a great tool because you can see their face. You can see what the way they're talking, and you can see them. By the way, a little hint, always have on clothes. I've only had one that showed up with this man, actually in Australia, came to the Zoom meeting and he wasn't dressed and he didn't know that camera was on. So either make sure your camera's off or wear clothes. That's an important thing. So Zoom is a way to pull people together, to get them engaged, to let them share, to let them talk. In small groups, everybody gets to talk. If you open it in big groups, you can kind of lose that connection because everybody's talking over the top of everybody else. But the idea here is with Zoom, you want to know how to do it. And if you don't know how, there's tutorials, there are other things that you can get that will support you with that. So Zoom is a great tool. They're just overloaded right now and a little bit slow and things like that, but you still can do it. Conference calls, everybody, if they don't know technology, is a good way. By the way, my 5 or 6 best friends that I've had since elementary school, we get together every year, and I love them. They're wonderful girlfriends that I've known for a long time. And one of them is kind of stuck right now. She's a single woman and in her house, and they aren't delivering food, and both sides of her neighbors have the virus, and so she's having a tough time. So I called a Zoom meeting for all of us to get together on Sunday just to have, a visit together. And 2 of them said, I'm not technology savvy. Can we just do a phone call? I went, oh, scary. So anyway, conference calls are simple. That's a way you can do it with ease with people. It's just that Zoom or Skype or another tool is a little better because you have more things to work with, the sound and the physiology and a little more interaction that they can participate in. Don't forget right now, because communication is so important, to send notes to people. Handwritten notes are kind of a lost art. I think people forgot how to write. And so I'm suggesting that you send little notes and cards and remember people's birthdays and their anniversaries and connect with them in that manner. How are you doing? Is there anything you need? How can I support you? Are all great questions. By the way, how can I help you? You attract the helpless. It's a much better word. How can I support you? That means they're doing it and you're just there alongside of them. So more about words on that. Of course, email. We have email, but many people are not opening their email. What is it about that they're like glued to the TV, folks? That TV person doesn't know you're there. They really don't. You're not making a difference for them at all. And it may be putting some junk in your trunk. So I just don't watch TV. The other day, though, this was a beautiful thing. I was walking through the living room and the TV was on. Somebody was watching it. And I heard something. I went back and I listened. This happened right here in Hawaii. This man was going to breakfast, and then we had restaurants open that day. That was the last day, the breakfast. And he went in and ordered his meal, and he asked the server, how are you all doing? Are you going to stay open? And they said, this is our last day. We're all being laid off, and I don't know when we're going to be back. That man left a tip of $1,000. Now, I'm not saying you all go out and give a tip of $1,000. He left a tip of $1,000 with a beautiful note, thanking them for their service and saying to divide that up amongst all of the people that worked there that were being laid off. And I thought, how beautiful. What an act of kindness. That kind of stuff I can listen to all day. That's why post things on your Facebook and your social media that are positive, are creative ideas and things that you're doing and what's working. Stop talking about what's not working. I felt a little bit bad after last night. I posted that there was a tsunami coming towards Hawaii, and that was our first warning. We were packing the truck, and I didn't know what was going to happen. So I posted it up there, and I don't do negative things usually, but I made it funny, I guess. But then everybody started panicking, thinking I was going to croak. But I'm here to tell you the tsunami didn't get as bad as they thought, and it didn't hit our island, and it was all good. But generally, I post things that are positive and upbeat and fun and make people laugh. Do some of that thing to give people an opportunity. So social media, don't sit on there all day because we got to connect with people unless you're doing messaging. And the other place to really look right now is on LinkedIn, because most of the professional people are going to LinkedIn. They're going and checking things out there because they're looking for other professional people. So start to post on there. This is a good time to get your bio up there, your information up there. So it's another tool. And then be active on there. Accept new people, reach out to new people. I don't sit on social media, but I do about 25 minutes a day on all social media. And And I think that's about the right amount. As if you're sitting there all day, you may not get where you want to go. What suggestions do you have for LinkedIn? I'm very active there, and it is a great platform. Respond to people, reach out when it's their anniversary or something like that. Can make a connection, let them know you care. Don't try and sell them on something. There's people that are doing that all the time, trying to sell. And by the way, it's turning into a dating site. I don't know what that's about, but so ladies, I don't know what you can handle with that, or gentlemen, but I don't know. I don't like that part, but the rest of it is all good. So connect with people, ask questions about them. Where do you live? Or tell me about what you do, or what's going on your staycation. Get connected. When you build the relationship first, the rest follows. Always build the relationship first. So LinkedIn, talk to people, reach out, accept people, go after people. I just tried something called Alignable. Somebody got me in there and I had no idea what that thing was, but I've had lots of people reaching out. I don't have a lot of time on there, but I do accept people, and I try to post things that would be of service to them. But that's another tool. But you could get into hundreds of these and never talk to a person. So you don't want to do that. So email, videos. Make videos. People love videos. Post those on your Facebook. Send them through social media. But talking about things that are of value to everyone. People like to see you. That's the greatest way. I just heard yesterday, 800% higher opportunity for people to hear what you have to say in a video, more so than what you do in an email. So, and even more so than texting now. So really start sending some, push notifications to people with text, so that they know that you're there, and not with text, with video, because I think they'll get to know you're a real person. That's a big thing. Oh, Peggy says, I love Alignable. I'm so happy. I hope I didn't miss anything else on those. Okay, so any questions on tools? Are you feeling like you're getting some ideas? The hint here is do something. We have lots and lots of choice. Facebook Lives, yes. Those are great ways to engage people. Excellent. What is it? Great stuff. What is it? I'm not sure. Oh, what is Alignable? Just go online and you can look it up, and you'll see it's a connection tool. You can have people right in your own community that you can meet that way. And it's free. You can go an advanced one. I just do the free one. I just do the free LinkedIn too, but I've still met a lot of people. Alignable. It's all one word, like aligning with other people. Alignable. Okay, let's take a look here. Use the layered approach of communication, and know the best way to communicate with people that are on your team. That's one of the first things you ask a new person. What is the best method to communicate with you? Now, a lot of the millennials are going to say, text me. And if you don't know how to text, you better learn how to text. I don't care how old you are. My grandchildren text me. So, I mean, if I didn't text them, I maybe wouldn't get to talk to them as much. So get those things down with how they like it. Some people like email because some people want you to call. Some people want you to message them. Facebook message. There's a lot of different ways. So know the best way to communicate, but use all methodologies that you can. Because if you want to reach all the people, you want to come at it from different ways. And yes, amazing. It's our time to use them. You're right. This is great. I'm so glad. Oh, face to face. It's at distance, at a distance. Now, I just went to my mail center just yesterday, and that's where our mail goes. So I have to go there, and they're still open. And I came up, and everybody was standing outside, like 10 feet apart. There was no line. They were just out there in a big old blob. And I said to somebody, hey, is there a line, or what's happening here? They said, oh, no, they have a limited number of people that can be in there at a time. And I said, well, how many is that? And they said 10. And I looked in the window. I said, there's 4 in there. What's going on? They go, well, they'll come out and get us when they're ready. Well, I said, well, I'm going to go in if nobody minds. It's all up to you, but I just need to pick up my mail. They go, no, go ahead. So I went in, got my mail, came out, and I said, some of you might want to go in. There's only 4 people in there, and one's getting ready to come out. But so people are kind of panicked in this whole people to people thing. And I see all the people with their gloves and their masks and their hats and all this stuff walking into Costco. Oh man, you ought to see a fast moving Costco. That's ours. You know, people are doing weird things, but guess what? You can wear your attire, wear your USANA attire everywhere you go. If you're standing in a line around the block at Costco to get in there, like the people are doing here, you're going to know everybody around you by your USANA clothing, your USANA backpack. Everything you got on is USANA when you go out the door. Because guess what? You're sending a message, and look professional. You know, don't be wearing your cutoffs. I saw a lady the other day, it was ugly, cutoffs that did this on the back. That was not cute. So wear professional clothing when you go out, and you're happy to get to go out. In a way, we can only have one person in the store, one family member in the store at a time. So the other one's out in the parking lot. I'd lean up against a truck with my USANA shirt on, and as people go by, at least let them look at it. Get your logo on your car or your vehicle. All those things let people know that you are in business. Just because we're at home doesn't mean we're not in business. We are in a home-based business. So think about that a little bit. So layered communication, come at them from all different directions. Be confident. Let's talk about that for a moment. People say, you know, I used to work with somebody that would say, act as if you're confident, act as if, you know. Well, sometimes it's acting. So I'm just going to say, what can you do to feel more confident? How can you show up with confidence? What does confidence even look like? Good point, Joyce. Sit up straight. You know, show this little girl, look how confident she looks there with her little crown. You know, superhero stance. There's a lot of ways to look people in the eye. That shows confidence. And be present with people. Before you walk into a meeting, know who's going to be there. You know, make sure that, now she doesn't look real professional here, but she looks cute and she looks confident. You know the product well. Thank you, Peggy. Know the product. Doesn't mean you have to know everything about it. It just means you know more than them, because you do. And I think the confidence comes when you enlarge your comfort zone. When you do the things that are uncomfortable. Do the things that are uncomfortable and show yourself you can do it. It's like picking up the phone this week. Everybody in the world is home, or most people. This is the time to call. And if you're sitting there looking at that telephone and you're not making that call, you're not as confident as you want to be in your business, put a sticker on your phone that says, I call because I care. I'm checking in with people. I call because I care. That is a big thing. Use affirmations. Set your goals before going into a meeting. Set an intention, but you don't have to have the outcome. The outcome may be that you meet a new friend, but what is your intention in hosting this meeting? And asking other people what their intention is, so you make sure that you can do it. And by the way, the biggest way to build confidence is through self-coaching. Asking yourself better questions so you get a better answer. And that's a different topic, but I totally believe it, and I didn't want to do it without that. So let's talk for a minute about being professional. Professional doesn't mean uppity. Professional means you show up on time. You do what you say you're going to do. You honor the people you're with. You dress in professional attire. You bring what you say you're going to bring. You deliver what you say you're going to deliver. All of those are part of being professional. You know, I think sometimes what people think is being professional means you have to have all the answers. No. Have integrity. Your word and your promises. Do what you say you're going to do. Oh, look at you, smart people. I just love you. I miss my USANA family. You're here with me. This is exciting. So be professional. Let them know you are a professional person who owns your own business. This is it. You own your business. You're the CEO of your company. More importantly, you're the CEO of your mind. You run your mind. What you think about, you bring about. So in being professional, you use good word choices, and you never degrade or put somebody else down. And certainly we don't gossip. If I'm gossiping to you, when you leave, you think I'm going to be gossiping about somebody else the same way. Or if I'm talking about you, you think I'm talking about you to somebody else. Gossip, don't get engaged in that. Don't get engaged. Stay clear. So if somebody tries to gossip to me, I just say, I really don't know anything about that. What I can tell you about is, and I give them something totally to shift their thinking. That's called a pattern interrupt. Getting them out of the hole, the negative. It's like the people that are gloom and doom right now. Give them something new to think about. What's going well right now in your life? What good things are happening? And if they say, well, there's nothing. Well, if there was one thing you could do that would be positive, what would that be? Let's move them away from that junk. So be professional, and professional people care about others. It's not that you know everything and that you're all that. We have a saying here in Hawaii, and I think it's a stupid saying. Maybe you've heard it. She thinks she's all that in a bag of chips. I don't know what the chips have to do with anything, but I'm just saying you don't have to be arrogant to be professional. I love this little boy. I think he's darling, and he's not one of mine. Not one grandbaby boy right now. We got all girls down at the lower end. Stay humble. Yes, very good point. So to be personable means that you really care. You pay attention to them. You notice them. You ask questions about them and their family. You remember what happened the last time you talked to that customer. Her little girl was having a tough time, and ask, how's she doing? I've been really thinking about her. Be real with that people know when you're authentic, and they know when you're putting on a show or it's a tactic. Don't do tactics. Just be personable with people, care, and listen. And I laugh at this thing about being personable, because not in the old days, when you could get out, I'd say get in an elevator in a big city where there's 20 floors, and just stay in that elevator all day and talk to every person that gets in and out of that elevator. Because you know what? They're trapped. They're not going to jump till they get to their floor. So it's enlarging your comfort zone. You're practicing, and you're also being personable. My husband laughs at me because he says, Nicki, every time you get in an elevator, you know every person in that elevator before we get to where we're going. And it's because I'm interested in them. So sometimes at a convention, I know a lot of people there before I get there because I've already met them in the elevator, and I can bring their name up to the group. So practice in that elevator. Ask questions. I got to tell you a funny story. I'm in New York City. This was years ago. New York has changed since 9/11. But I was in New York City, and my husband and I go to get in an elevator, and I said, isn't it a beautiful day today? And he looked at me and said, you're not from here, are you? I thought that was interesting. But, it's much better today. So, gosh, talk to everyone within 3 feet and listen to what they have to say. And I think now it's 6 feet, but be present with people. That's really what that being personable is about. Now, being persistent. Some people think that means that you're aggressive. You're chasing people. Don't need to be aggressive. You can be gracefully assertive. And gracefully assertive people aren't afraid. They don't stay back and hold back. They reach out to people. They maybe make the first move to say good morning or hello, I haven't met you yet. They do those things because they care about the other person. And I don't give up easily, and I don't want you to either. So here is a thought. If you are at or on a phone call, and you tell the person when they say now is just not a good time, when do you think would be a good time for you? Oh, I just can't say right now. Is next week looking better? Next week is better. So what day is better for you, Tuesday or Thursday? Oh, Thursday is a better day for me. Morning or afternoon? Afternoon. 2 o'clock sound good? 2 o'clock. So these are a lot of questions. And right now it's a little touchy to go this far, but in regular life, yes. And then the next thing I say is I'll block that time off in my calendar and commit it to you. Will you do the same? This is a gem. Write it down. I'll block that time off in my calendar and commit it to you. Will you do the same? If they cannot commit to being there when you call them, you're going to chase them around the block 19 laps. Not good. So be gracefully assertive. Make people feel value by being with you. Speak good into their souls. We all need encouragement right now. Thank you for typing that. I'll block that time off in my calendar and commit it to you. Will you do the same? Wow, I'm framing that. Thank you so much, Jared. I'm glad that that was a winner for you. You never know what's going to be the button for people. So I'm so happy we got a lot of different things going on. Be interested. Be interested in other people. When you are interested in them, they find you interesting. You are more engaging when you're interested in them. Notice people, and especially notice their children. When you notice people's children, they feel that that's a part of them and they feel special. Or notice the dog or the cat or whoever they're walking with. I have another funny story. So, I mean, I got to watch my time, but this was so precious. I just got to tell you. The other night I was watching The Dog's Purpose. We're doing a family activity and we're watching The Dog's Purpose. And my grandkids, two of my grandkids were right there with us. And there was The Ugliest Dog. This is part 2. Go watch it. It's a good movie and it's a kid's movie. Part 2 had the ugliest dog I'd ever seen in my life. It had no fur. It had this white hair that stood straight up with this pink bow. And I am not judgmental. I promise you, I'm the least judgmental person you're going to meet. And it just sort of mumbled out of my mouth. And I just said, oh, that's the ugliest dog I've ever seen. And my little Maya, 6, comes and stands in front of me. She turns the TV off first. She puts her hands on her hip and she looks at me and she said, Mimi, that was not nice. That was actually judgmental. I am shocked. And I went, holy crud. And she said, I think you need to say you're sorry because, you know, that animal has feelings. And even though it's on the TV, if you did that in real life, you could hurt that little animal's feelings and the owner's feelings. So I hope you never do that again. I promise I'll never do it again. I promise. I'm sorry to the whole family. It was a lapse in my speaking. And I'm just telling all of you right now, don't let your judgment come out front of anything because others are watching. So be interested in other people. This is a time for transformational connections versus transactional. The transaction will follow. The transaction will follow when you are working towards transformation in other people's lives, pouring good into their lives. I love that this is a time when everybody's kind of slowing down and not in the rat race anymore. And we're just really connecting at a deeper level with people. We can transform people in this time. And all of you are a part of making that happen, which is pretty exciting. So now we have a call to action here because you got a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on right now. So I want to tell you about some things that we're going to bring to the forefront here. And in fact, I'm going to ask Nathan to share those and how you're going to get this because we have prizes and we're going to get a time to share at the end. So, but I wanted to make sure you got this in. So Nathan, are you willing to share with the group what that call to action is? Let's give Nathan a round of applause.
Thank you. Well, I don't know if I deserve a round of applause, Nicki. I think that we all should give you one.
Oh, thanks.
That was great content. I loved all the tips that we got and the different categories. I mean, there was so much. But my favorite was the quote that you shared about the river of life is smooth when everything we do is for the good of all. And I think that that's a really good message, especially with our current environment that we find ourselves in. So, for our call to action today. So we were talking about communication, right? And creating engaging communication. And I did like the stats as well about how 55% of it is physiology, 38% is tone and pace, and only 7% is what we're actually saying. Oh, someone said they can't see me. I'll make myself seeable, so visible.
Mhm.
So the call to action for today, since we're talking about reaching out to others, we're talking about making a connection, is look at your circle of influence, look at the people that you know. Choose 5 associates to reach out to and connect with. Choose 10 of your customers to reach out and connect with, and choose 10 potential customers or potential teammates to reach out and connect with. So that's a total of 25, right? 25 people. Again, that's 5 associates, 5 of your teammates, 5 associates, 10 of your customers, and then 10 potential customers. Reach out, make a connection, use some of the tips that we learned about how we can, be interested in them, and then they'll be interested in us. And don't tell them all about yourself and be interesting. Be interested. And if you connect with them and you make the connection, you have the conversation by next Tuesday. What is that? The 31st.
5 o'clock Mountain Time.
5 o'clock Mountain Time. Send those names of the people you connected with to our US field at usanainc.com email address. usfield@usanainc.com. Send us that list, and you'll be eligible for a prize.
And they're good prizes, folks. You definitely want to be there. And just because I love you so much, I'm going to throw in a couple things too that we'll add to those prizes. So in addition to some great tools and things that the company's doing for you, I'm going to throw in a couple too, just because I feel like I'm back home. I love it this time with us. So by the way, connect with them doesn't mean you left a message. That is not a connect. So we don't want to call at the time when we think they're not going to be there, or when we think that they're going to be doing something else. Then we can say, oh, I called. I tried. This is not trying, it's doing. So everybody get a plan of action to get on it and reach out to people. Most people are home right now. So don't be afraid to pick up that phone. Put your sticker on it. I call because I care. Find a way to reach out. And if you leave a message with the time to call you back, or to let you know the best time to call you back so they know what to do. I'm just calling because I wanted to reconnect with you. And if you reconnect, they're going to be reminded about how great USANA products are. And right now, some people are zero income. They may say, gosh, we're suffering. I've got some challenges here. And maybe there's something I could do to support you with that. Would you like to explore that a little further? So call to action is the big step. So now what I'm looking for are insights. What are you going to take away from this webinar today? What are you going to implement right away? Thank you for your words of wisdom in your heart, Nikki. Thank you, Lori. Stephanie, if you don't have 5 associates, contact team members. Yep, cross lines. Get to people. More videos. You're going to do more videos with people. I will block that time off. You're going to be using that. Good. Oh, pace. Being aware of our pace. Transformation before the transaction. Holy smokes, we've got good stuff. Speak to their souls and listen to them. Boy, we've got good things going on. Everyone had something, polishing up my entire approach. Right now, it's a little more gentle than normal. That gracefully assertive is where we want to step up. So I'm just inviting everybody from this day forth to go out, go out and beyond your normal comfort zone. Reach out to people, let them know that you care. Holy smokes, I love all of you. Don't just try, do it. You've got it. You've got some insights and you've got some action. You know, for your company to invest in things like this for you means they see results. So this is your time to step up and have results for you, for the company, for your customers, for your team, for the good of all. We all set the example for other people. If you're gloom and doom, or you're sitting in front of the TV all day, or you're that person in the refrigerator, that is probably not going to be the best results for you over the upcoming time. So thank you, USANA. Thank you for taking the time to do this, for reaching out, for looking for a way to be of support to people. Notice they didn't give up when the climate changed and what they needed to do and just say, well, we won't do anything. No, they said, how can we work with the people we have, the ones that really want to do something with this business? And that's you. That's you. You wouldn't have showed up today if you weren't that person. Lead by example for your children. Let them know that they've got homework, you've got work. This is the time for us to work together and to figure out our guidelines, that what are the guidelines within our, how we're going to do phone when you're on the phone and so on. Figure it out. You're smart. Your company has given you tools. Take those tools and do something with it. You know, I love your company. I love your products. I love the people in it. I love your leadership, Kevin. I mean, we enjoy working with you, and we're blessed that we get to do this for you now. There's 2 more webinars. If you've got people on your team that didn't show up today, this may be something that will uplift them and get them into action. Because when you are growing, you're going. When you stop growing, you stop going, and you'll be stuck. You can't push this car up a hill from a dead stop. So that, if we get back out in the world and we get to be face to face, things may look a little different or be different, but you don't want to be at a dead stop. You want to be moving, and now's the chance. And gracias to all of you that were here in Spanish. And I hope that I love your translator too. I've worked with her before. Let's get growing and going. So anything you'd like to wrap up with from the USANA field team?
You know, Nicki, I just want to thank you for your time and your willingness to be here with us and to continue the friendship that we have between you and us here at USANA. So thank you for that. And again, I know you just reminded us, but we have 2 more calls in this series. And the next one's going to be April 8th. And then the final one will be April 16th. So mark those on your calendars. It's the same time, but make sure that you register for each of those individually and get your teams on as well. So thank you again, Nicki, for your time and for your words of wisdom here. It was amazing, great content, and I'm looking forward to the next one already. I'm also looking forward to seeing the calls to action and people taking what we learned and putting it into action right away over this next week.
And who likes prizes? Where are those hands? You like prizes? Well, we got prizes, but you do it because it's the right thing to do and because you want to grow your business right now and you want to connect with as many people as you can, as fast as you can. So aloha, everyone. Have a beautiful day and enjoy this rest of the evening. Yep. Take care.
Thank you, everybody.